Hey folks, welcome back to the kitchen here at Mark Kelly Farm. We've got another recipe for you today. This one includes some broccoli we were able to salvage out of our garden after that hailstorm. So stick around, we'll show you what the recipe is. It's very good. Here's all of our broccoli we were able to salvage out of the garden. These are kind of the side shoots of the broccoli. After the big main head is gone, it starts sending out these little side shoots, and we'll have plenty for our recipe. Now what we are making is a broccoli salad. It's a cold salad. It uses raw broccoli. It's very good. Great summertime meal. It's nice and cool. You could almost make a meal out of this dish because it's got bacon and some other stuff in it. It's a pretty hearty meal actually. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cook up our bacon. We don't need a whole pound, but I'm going to cook the whole pound because I can use for other dishes or even breakfast tomorrow morning. And shout out to Daly's Bacon, which is our favorite bacon. Fantastic flavor. They're still putting their bacon in 16-ounce or 1-pound packages and not the 12 like the other companies that are trying to rip you off. And I know some of you people that like cooking your bacon in perfect flat little strips, this is going to drive you crazy. But bear with me, this is the way I've always cooked bacon since I was a little kid. So while our bacon is cooking away here, we're going to go ahead and prep our broccoli. I've got it drained out. I had it soaking in nice cool water because it was almost 100 degrees outside. So I wanted to cool this stuff down. It helps it crisp up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and process down into smaller pieces for the salad. We don't want the big florets. We want it smaller, a little bit smaller than bite-sized pieces. And we need 5 to 6 cups of chopped broccoli, or cubed broccoli, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to get that done and we'll measure it with our big measuring cup here. So that's about what you're looking for, about that size right there, just fine. And I think we're going to end up with just probably about the right amount that we need. We ended up with exactly 5.5 cups of chopped broccoli. Again, the good Lord provided exactly what we needed for this dish. So the bacon's coming along over here. So next thing is we're going to chop us a red onion. This is one of our red onions from our garden. Our onions were also spared because they were actually underground. And the onions this year, probably a quarter, I would say, of our onions, maybe 25%, maybe less. We got a lot of these doubles, but for small recipes, that's fine. We don't need a whole onion. We only need 1/3 of a cup. So we'll get her chopped up. Got our onion chopped way more than what we need, but we just saved some of that in the fridge. The bacon, if I was going to be eating it just as bacon, I would be taking it out now because I enjoy chewy bacon. But for this dish, you can go beyond chewy into a little bit crumbly, a lot more cooked, because for this dish, that's probably the better way to go. Otherwise, you could just chop it if you wanted to keep it a little more chewy. But we're going to make it so we can crumble it a little bit. If you've never cooked bacon like this, they get done at different rates. So we've already pulled some out of the skillet. So you just pull them out as they get done. Our little bag of onions for the fridge. We keep them right here on the top shelf. Kind of stuff down in between everything here. Just about everything we make around here's got onions in it, whether it's a dish or soup or even hot dogs or whatever. We always have some onions pretty much ready to go. We get a lot of questions. What happened to Brandy? She's still here. She's got to put up with this one though. Wreck-It Ruby's always in her face. It's like dealing with a kindergartner, huh, Brandy? So she spends a lot of time avoiding Ruby, which don't know if that's fair or not, but she's getting better. They they actually play together a lot. So always save your bacon grease. And I use a coffee cup, because coffee cups are designed to have hot stuff poured in them. So that's where I keep it, and I let it cool in there. Believe it or not, this is more healthy for you than a lot of that hydrogenated crazy crud they're having you think you need to eat. This is very good, adds a lot of flavor to stir fries, whatever. You can make pie crust with this if you were to put that in the fridge and harden it up. You can do all kinds of stuff with bacon grease. So we're going to let our bacon cool. We're going to get some of our other ingredients put together. Alright, I got my stainless steel tossing bowl out. I call this a tossing bowl because whenever I make salads, I use a bowl a lot bigger than what I would serve it in to toss it, so you have a room and you're not spilling all over the counter. It's a very good thing to have. So to our 5½ cups or so of chopped broccoli, 1/3 of a cup of chopped red onion or diced. We've got 2/3 of a cup of dried cranberries, and then you go with a 1 cup of sharp cheddar cheese, and you want the big, you can find the really fine stuff, but you want the bigger stuff for this recipe. And these 8-ounce packages are about 2 cups, so you're going to use about half of one of those packages. And then you're going to use a 1/2 cup of salted sunflower seeds. Make sure they're salted because you need the salt to balance the sweet salty mix that this salad is going to have. So let's dump in our 1 cup of cheese. We just used our mixing bowl. I'll get the rest of that out when we go off camera. And then our 1/2 cup of salted sunflower seeds. So all we got left now to add to this bowl is we need to chop some of that bacon and throw it in here. It's cooled off now, it's pretty crispy. And then we're going to need a 1/2 cup of that chopped up. Now if you don't like cranberries, raisins would be just as good in this dish, or any other like tart dry fruit like dried cherries or something like that. Whatever you like or whatever you have on hand is going to work for you. Got our bacon in. It was nice and crispy, chopped up real nice. I love these Pampered Chef ingredient bowls. They double as measuring cups because they got measurements on them for 1/4 all the way up to 1 cup, and then also metric measurements. And they even come with these little lids. We have a whole set of these things. I use them quite a bit. Now I know you hear me talk about Pampered Chef a lot when I'm making these recipes. And I don't buy everything Pampered Chef has. I don't like any tool or item that's like Unitask. I don't want to fill my kitchen up with that stuff, but I do buy a lot of stuff you can use for a lot of different things. And there's a lot of those very useful things that I buy. So we're not sponsored by Pampered Chef, obviously. My cousin's a Pampered Chef dealer. So if you see any of these items in our videos that you want to check into, let me know in the comments and I'll give you her link if you'd like it. But Pampered Chef's all over the country, so you probably know somebody that's a dealer. So now that we got our main ingredients together, we're going to mix up our dressing. So in our big measuring bowl, again Pampered Chef, this also Pampered Chef. We got a bunch of these. We use them all the time. They got a nice silicone end on them for spatulas, so for like cleaning out jars. And then a spreader end on this end, and with a serration where you can almost cut open bagels and stuff. Love these. And then you've also seen this before too, our Wonder Cup. So in our dressing, it has 3/4 cup of mayonnaise and a 1/4 cup of sour cream. This is a 1 cup measure, so we were able to get all of that in there. So how this works is you've got this little plunger, and you just push the plunger and it squeezes everything out of that measuring cup, and you have everything. None of it stays in the cup. Very handy for thick items that you got to measure. So the rest of our ingredients for our dressing is 1½ tablespoons of vinegar. We're using cider vinegar. You can use whichever vinegar you like. And then now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of just regular white sugar. So 1, 2, 3. Very similar to like a coleslaw recipe. And then we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. So there's a 1/4 of pepper, 1/4 of salt, and we're good to go. We're going to stir all of this up, and then we'll incorporate it into our salad mix over here. And make sure you get out any lumps of your mayonnaise, but as you stir it into your salad, anything left will pretty much disappear in there. Now another good thing about this little spatula here is I can scrape down the sides of the bowl as I pour it in there. So let's get that done. Give my ingredients a quick stir in here to kind of incorporate everything. And then in with the dressing. All right, we'll give that a good stir. There's our salad. Now, it's a good idea to let this sit in the fridge for about an hour before you eat it, because it lets the flavors come together a little bit better, and the dressing starts working on all the vegetables, and they give up a little bit of their liquid, and it kind of adds to the dressing on it. You just give it a quick toss before you eat it. So I put it back in our little measuring bowl after we got it out of our tossing bowl. So we'll come back and we'll tell you how this tastes. I already know how it tastes, but we'll see. Here we go, folks, the moment of truth. Absolutely off the hook, fantastic. We hit it out of the park again. You got the crunchiness of those sunflower seeds in there and the broccoli. Very good. The cheese is really creamy. You got the sweetness of that dressing. A little sweet and sour action going on. Just absolutely amazing. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I surely do. And I'm going to sit down and eat a bowl of this right now. Got me my iced tea out of the fridge. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. If you're interested in what we do here on the homestead, I'll put some video and a playlist up here so you can look at some more stuff. So see you next time.